Welcome back, my lovely darlings. Today we're going to talk about feminine pattern. We're going to talk about womanly, more feminine patterns that looks more expensive rather than cheap. Sometimes, we can get a little bit confused when we want to buy something a little bit unusual with this kind of like a abstract, I will be calling it abstract design, helpful for you to show you how actually what kind of patterns look more expensive, what kind of patterns look a little bit more cheap, and it's maybe sometimes not even about pattern but about colors, about overall look of the piece of the garment. We're going to talk about some of the companies that you can get inspired by, like Emilio Pucci. He's doing beautiful patterns. They're looking more rich, they are feeling more rich, most of the time they are silk as well. But I think we can really get inspired by his design and try to find something similar. But I'm going to talk about a few other brands as well. You can look at those brands and then think, okay, I'm going to try to find something very similar to that. And honestly, some of those patterns, I think like this kind of patterns can really make you feel gorgeous, especially during the summer if you're wearing something very thin like chiffon, if you're going to the beach with a beautiful long dress. I think this is important, just to buy something a little bit more interesting than rather going always for white. Obviously, white dress for summer is a classic, it's fantastic. I know I've got myself one white dress, but I think it's nice to sometimes invest in something a little bit different, that not only summer but some kind of maybe nice blouse that is going to be a little bit more feminine than going for just very simple. Simple is great, it's great to have some basics in the wardrobe that you can always use, but it's also nice to have a piece of the garment, a blouse, a dress, or even a trousers, or a completely like a whole set that has a pattern and it looks really rich and it's just beautiful. One of those other designers that I wanted to mention is Herrera. I think her dresses, there's example here, have really lovely pattern as well. You can see the colors are fantastic, and that's just something you can look at and get inspired as well. Obviously those are premium brands, so sometimes it's hard to find something like a similar pattern in a high street or somewhere, mid brands. But if you want to buy something that you're going to last forever, then it's important to do your research as well a little bit more rather than focusing on just one brand. Sometimes River Island has not bad patterns, but you need to be careful with them because they're using a lot of like branding on them. There's a lot of logos on the patterns, so you don't really want this like a double R, you don't want that. But just saying, there's like so many brands. You can really find some dupes that still look really, really expensive and look absolutely fantastic. This is dress from Coast actually. So the brand overall is not really expensive, I would say. This dress here, I think it's really, if this dress wouldn't be on sale, like if it wouldn't be sold already, I would buy it honestly. But it's really fantastic colors, very vibrant. It looks more expensive. Sometimes you can go to like a very basic brands, like very cheap brands, and the patterns, they just don't look good, especially that most of the time they will be made, the clothes will be made of polyester, so it just doesn't look so well. But this dress, I just want to show you that from Coast you can find a really fantastic option, and this dress would be really lovely for summer. And it wasn't really a fortune, Sometimes as well you can find really nice pieces from Karen Millen. But obviously you need to be careful where you're buying, I'm not going to tell you buy this brand, buy that brand, you can buy with your own conscience, with what kind of brands, what kind of companies you support. But just saying that I know sometimes even I look at the products, because if they would have maybe something really fantastic, maybe I would buy it, But you can find in many different brands really lovely patterns. They don't need to be crazy expensive, but I think it's great to get inspired by those more luxury brands, because then it gives you some kind of better idea what to buy and what what not to buy. You can as well find a lot of Dolce & Gabbana. They have this kind of like an animal pattern, and you can find lots of animal pattern, like if they made really nicely, from the cheaper brands as well. If you're interested in animal patterns, I made a separate video about this, so I will post a link on the top if you want to jump to that video as well. Another really fantastic brand to follow and to see their designs, because they're absolutely beautiful when it comes to clothes, but especially dresses, is Zimmermann. Obviously there will be lots of floral pattern as well, but there are other patterns as well. Zimmermann is great for getting inspired by as well, and they are most of the time very feminine. There's very feminine brand. The dresses are absolutely gorgeous, but you know, it costs a fortune to buy one dress, so it's, you know, it's just something to obviously consider when you know, planning your budget. But Zimmermann has really fantastic patterns, and it's something that you can very easily, you know, go to their website, go to any other website that actually selling Zimmermann products, and see what they're doing, what kind of outfits, what kind of dresses they're doing, what kind of style dresses, what kind of style skirts, blouses, and really get inspired. They are very romantic, I would say. They're very romantic, very feminine, very like womanly like products they have. Really beautiful. It's just the downside for normal people like me, that it's just very expensive. I think those kind of lovely sets, like two pieces, blouse and trousers, that are made of satin or made of silk, they are really wonderful as well to look a little bit more expensive, but obviously you need to be more conscious about the design. This is an example actually from Emilio Pucci, and I think it's very strong design, so it's not something very soft, I would say, but it just shows you how wonderful two pieces like this can look. I think they can really give you a very expensive feel. And most of the time you're going to see people who really are more affluent, have more money to actually wear something like this, rather than normal people. Normal people don't experiment, I think, as much, because they may be a little bit scared, and obviously not every pattern looks so great. That's just something to keep in mind. If you want to have this kind of more expensive look, finding this kind of beautiful set can really help you achieve that. If you're not entirely sure about this kind of big outfits, because obviously they might take some getting used to it, like give you some time to get used to wearing something so like visible, so you know, how outfit have a pattern, quite a strong pattern, then maybe just starting with a nice blouse with like some kind of lovely pattern, with some kind of lovely design, it's going to be a great start. As I'm saying, you don't need to have a whole wardrobe with this kind of clothes, but having even one piece that you just going back once a while to wear it, just so you can like feel a little bit different, rather than going for those basics, but maybe that you love, like I love my basics, but sometimes wearing just something a little bit more colorful, a little bit more like fresh, it just really wonderful, you know, to give ourselves a little bit more options, because obviously you don't want the whole wardrobe in this kind of strong patterns and strong designs. But as I'm saying, having few pieces like this can be really handy when you feel like you have some kind of party, and maybe you don't really want to wear anything like cream or black. You maybe want to wear something a little bit more stronger, visible. So I think it's good if you have already full wardrobe of basics, and now you're thinking what else could you invest to have like something a little bit different, those kind of moments that you actually want to feel a little bit more special, then I think it's really nice to invest in those as well. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please leave it a thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe. I upload every Monday. See you in the next video.